where the reels unwind. Off the real podcast, digging deep in the grind. 80 flicks, low cash, big dreams in the frame. No blockbuster hype, just the realest in the game. Reviews so sharp, we cut through the noise.
I saw so many reviews, 5 stars, so many taglines, so many quotes. The best horror movie in a long, long time. This is barely a horror movie. It's funny as shit. Weapons is hilarious. Yes, there are a couple of pretty decent, pretty gnarly jump scares. What I will say is the marketing for this thing was genius. So yes, my name is Kevin Alden. This is Nerdly Presents Off the Reel, an Off the Reel review of the movie Weapons. It has been a while since the movie came out, but I did want to give my opinion because when I finally did get to see this movie, I was so underwhelmed, it's not even funny. I'm going to try and be as fair as I humanly possibly can and give you what I thought about certain things as we go through. So yes, what I will do is I will get into the plot of the movie with as few spoilers as humanly possible, although there is a very good chance that as I go I will spoil a couple of things. Then I will get into the cast and crew of this movie, we'll talk about that a little bit. Then I'll get into what I did and didn't like about this movie. But what you really need to know is that I thought this was going to be a horror movie. I went into it thinking, cool, nice little weird horror movie from the guy that made Barbarian. I didn't love Barbarian, but it's a damn sight better than this. And then I'll get into my final Nerdly Presents Off the Reel rating of this movie. That's not necessarily the rating of Nerdly as a whole. Somebody over on the website, which is nerdly.co.uk, may have also reviewed this movie, so please do check out what they have to say. We have many different voices over there who have many different opinions. However, my voice is potentially and definitely is the most important voice on the website because I'm just me and I'm awesome and that is just that. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to read out the synopsis as according to IMDb and we'll talk about it from there. So yeah, what IMDb says is, when all but one child from the same class mysteriously vanish on the same night at exactly the same time, a community is left questioning who or what is behind their disappearance. And yeah, that is essentially it. We open up the movie with a bit of narration, a bit of a voiceover from a young child. One of the things I definitely did like about the movie was this. She's basically telling us that this weird thing happened one night where all the kids in this one class, except for one, disappeared one night at 2:17 in the morning. We cut to I think it's a month later, and the school has been out of session for a while because the town's all dealing with everything that's going on. The school's about to go back, but the night or a couple of nights before they go back, they have a town hall meeting where we meet our teacher. And really, this movie is set over the space of a week or something like that, 3, 4, 5 days, and we get told the same 3 or 4 or 5 days from different viewpoints, from different characters. There's 6 different characters that we're going to be shown all these different things. The stories do intersect, of course, as they should. There's a nice connection, a nice through line. So the teacher, our first story, which is Julia Garner, she's kind of dealing with the whole fallout of everybody in the town kind of blames her. And then we finish up her story. We cut to Josh Brolin's character, who's a local construction guy. His kid's one of the kids that have gone missing, so he's trying to piece that together. And then he kind of goes after the teacher, but then he realizes that actually maybe the teacher's not at fault. We have the principal. His story comes into it, played by Benedict Wong. We'll talk about all that in a second. So his story comes into it, but he has a pretty gnarly story. There's a copper, there's a junkie, there's the main kid Alex, who did survive, taking us through to the end of the movie where we're going to figure out what actually happened. Everybody has their own little parts to play. Everybody's little stories intersect. It's kind of like Magnolia in that way, which I think I read somewhere that Zach Cregger was aiming for that, to the point where even the policeman, I think he's called Paul in the movie, has a John C. Reilly mustache, because that's kind of what Zach Cregger was thinking at the time. And there are a lot of similarities to other movies, other better movies within this movie that I think Zach Cregger's kind of throwing out there. And so there's not really a massive great deal that I can say about the plot without really getting into it, but some people turn into some weird things, stuff and things happen, but the main crux of it is, what I thought this was going to be a super duper horror movie. It's not really a super duper horror movie. It's more of a thriller. It's a noir thriller where we're getting told bits and pieces of the story, we're piecing it together, and when you think it might be something cool, aliens or some shit like that, it's nothing to do with that. They basically got Blair Witched. That is a little bit of a spoiler. They got Blair Witched. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move into the cast and talk a little bit about them, because I'll be more positive about what the cast are doing than what the story's doing. I've already mentioned Julia Garner, and I will say Julia Garner is excellent. She's doing a really, really good job. I don't really rate her as an actress as such. She's been in a few things that I quite liked her. She's decent enough playing these little awkward, weird, quirky roles, and that's exactly what this is. I do get the feeling that they were trying to make her out to be some sort of leading lady, bring in the love interest or the other man who's going to get with her. Genuinely though, she's doing a good job. She's doing a really, really good job. She doesn't know what's going on with these kids, but the whole town hates her and the whole town blames her. So she is doing a good job of making me believe that actually she's going through this as well. And then the movie turns into the friggin' Benny Hill show, and then that's ruined. So we'll jump into then we have Archer, who's played by Josh Brolin of Goonies fame that I've already mentioned. I'm a big fan of Josh Brolin, and the thing with Josh Brolin is he's always going to play a dependable role. Is this the best film he's ever made? Is this the best portrayal he's ever played? Not really. We'll probably forget about it in a couple of days, but honestly, he was okay. So I can't really fault him for that. Alden Ehrenreich? I know I've got that name wrong. I feel like I've definitely got that name wrong. Is this the guy that played Han Solo? Did he play young Han Solo? I think it is him, right? I think it is him. I mean, he was terrible in that movie. He's not much better in this movie. His whole character is a bit weird. He plays Officer Paul, sort of a love interest for Julia Garner, kind of gets messed up with the junkie of the movie, and really is one of the guys that does help propel the movie forward in terms of finding the kids and discovering what the mystery is. But he's okay. I didn't mind it. I just felt myself sitting there going, how are you even a police officer? How are you actually in the police force? I don't understand. Somebody who I think is absolutely incredible in this movie is Benedict Wong. Benedict Wong absolutely floored me in this film. He is so good. There's a part of the movie where he kind of gets possessed, taken over, whatever you want to call it, by the mysterious force of the movie. And when he does that, I was so transfixed on this character, and he goes nuts. Probably the MVP of the movie. Genuinely. And he's not in it all that much, but Benedict Wong is killing it in this movie, and I'm loving it. I'm absolutely here for it. So there was that. And when he's running down the street and he's got the arms out like the kids do in the trailers and the kids do in the film, he's so cool. Like, he made me want to go outside and do the exact same thing. I didn't, but I really wanted to. I could have, but I didn't. Another actor that I need to bring up, but I probably shouldn't because it is a tiny, tiny little bit of a spoiler, but I'm not going to tell you who she plays, is Amy Madigan. Amy Madigan is unbelievable. She is creepy as... She's basically the Blair Witch in the movie. And genuinely, when she first turned up, she's got like this weird red wig on. You'll have seen her in the trailers. You'll have seen her in the promo stuff. She's got the weird red wig on. She's got the makeup all over her face. And I instantly recognized that as Uncle Buck. I just straight away, I turned around to my wife and I was like, is that Shanice? That's Shanice, right? That's her from Uncle Buck. And I just thought, wow! Unbelievable. We've got Amy Madigan in 2025 in a horror movie, a supposed horror movie. And yeah, it was her. And she's so bloody good, playing the role of Gladys. And as I say, with Benedict Wong being my MVP, she has an insanely good scene with Benedict Wong that I just thought, yes, I'm in. I'm watching this movie. I'm slightly enjoying it. It's becoming something that I thought it was going to be. So let's get into what I did and didn't like. And I'll start with, I think this movie does the slow burn really well until we start getting into what we are actually doing. The connections, the going back and forth, the telling the stories from different angles, you know, the Magnolia vibe. I thought, okay, that's cool. We're doing this. I don't mind it. It is what it is. But you're going to have to wow me at some point because these people interconnecting in this way isn't making the greatest deal of sense. But at times, it does feel like Zach Cregger thought, you know what? That's not that important. I'll put that out there and I'll let you think about it, but it's not that important. We're not really going to deal with that storyline. I think there's some pretty good jump scares in this movie, well-paced jump scares as well. Sometimes you do feel like they just in there for the sake of being in there, but this felt more like a James Wan Conjuring style vibe. By the way, Conjuring: The Last Rites out in the cinema. Go and check that out. It's bound to be a better movie than this. But then you get into the tail end of this movie and it becomes an absolute hilarious comedy. The kids running down the street with the arms out, I loved that in the trailer. Benedict Wong doing it in the movie, I also kind of loved that. But there's a bit where we get the big turn of the movie and all the kids start running out the house, and it does become the Benny Hill yakety sax, all that nonsense, and I was just laughing my ass off. Because it ain't scary. You've lost the scare factor in this film. The gore factor is no longer. We do get a little bit of gore in the tail end of the film, but it's so unbelievably, unrealistically stupid by that point. The tone of this film is one thing for most of the movie, and then it changes it up. And I didn't really know what we were going for. I've seen a lot of people say, oh, well, that's kind of the point of the movie. It's meant to be silly. But why? Because you've set the tone and you're throwing things into this movie. Like, all these different characters have, like, some sort of addiction. Like, Benedict Wong is always eating when we see him. So it's like consumption, consumerism, the big business, big whatever. And then you've got our copper, who is a pisshead. He's absolutely just drunk. So that's like, he's addicted to that. You've got the husband or the man who has lost his child and he's obsessed with getting his kid back. So again, there's like all these things pointing to addiction. And there's even this really, really out there moment, and I found this completely egregious. Like, I know we're in a nightmare situation, we're having like bad dreams, but there's a bit where Josh Brolin walks up to the house, and above the house, floating above the house, is this like assault rifle, this huge, massive assault rifle, just floating in the sky. No reason whatsoever for it to be there. I thought maybe we're doing something interesting with school shootings. Is it because the kids died in a school shooting that we weren't privy to, and we are just watching these people trying to deal with their grief? I thought that was a really super duper awesome, interesting concept. You had me going for a couple of minutes, but no, it was just a giant floating assault rifle in the sky because I guess Zach Cregger thought it looked pretty cool. But it doesn't do anything, so that's my main thing. What I didn't like, I think Zach Cregger, okay, so we're coming back to the director, as I think he's been making a few movies that have been doing really well and kind of going against the horror grain, and that's cool. Barbarian was quite a decent movie. It wasn't terrible, you know, like, it gets ridiculous, cockamamie, silly nonsense. For me, this felt like a movie where he had this concept, he had this idea, but he didn't really know where to go with it. Why did the kids go missing? What is the point of the kids going missing, and why do we have that one kid who didn't go missing? And then I think he thought, you know what, let's Blair Witch it. Although we do see the witch in this film, spoilers, there's a witch in this film. Okay, you know what? Amy Madigan is a witch, and she's come to the town, and she needs these kids' souls or whatever so that she can live and take their essence and survive or whatever, because apparently she's dying. So she gets the kid, the young boy Alex, to help her get the kids to the house, and then she stores them there, and that's the movie. She Blair Witches them in the basement. That is a spoiler. I maybe should have said spoiler alert up front because I didn't think I was going to be doing this. But yes, it starts as one movie, and then it becomes this witch movie with witch powers and witchy things. And that's when I was like, this is stupid. Off the wall, and I'm kind of done. And Zach Cregger, I don't care. Finish your movie, I will watch you till the end, and that's fine. Let me get into my final Nerdly Presents Off the Reel review rating, and honestly, I am so middle of the road with this film. I didn't hate it, so I'm not going to give it like a 0 or a 1. I'm not going to be that bad, but I also didn't love it, so it can't get a 5 or a 4. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to meet in the middle. I'm going to sit directly on the fence, because I want you guys to check this film out. I want you guys to watch this film, and let me know down below in the comments what you thought of this film, because I think it's a goddamn mess. I think tonally, it's a mess. So I'm giving this movie a 2.5 out of 5. It's absolutely middle of the road. It looks amazing. The sound is amazing. The score is amazing. Cinematography, wow. Has some really, really cool effects in there. But I do think that that's what he was doing. I think he had a series of moments and no real connective tissue to go around it, and then came up with the Blair Witch Project, mixed with Prisoners, mixed with Magnolia, mixed with all the other films that he loves, and I just didn't love it. And I wanted to love this movie so badly because I feel like horror's on a comeback. Will I check out Zach Cregger's next movie? Of course I will. I'll watch it and I'll see what this man does. It's like M. Night Shyamalan. Like, I don't like what he does, but I'm going to watch every movie that he makes in the hopes that I do like what he does. I just think it has a lot of really cool ideas that he throws at the wall, and he just drops them in favor of doing nothing of any real anything. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, and ding that notification bell. If you don't want to do any of that, just tell someone. Tell someone who we are, and what we do, and hopefully we might not be your cup of tea, but there might be 3 other people that you do know and we are their cup of tea. So please do that. But for now, if I don't see you in the cinema, I'll see you in the next review.